and it takes a couple seconds for it to catch. Okay, and we are recording.
Good evening. Welcome to the City of Austin Housing and Planning Department virtual community meeting for NPA 2021-0015.03 and NPA 2021-0015.04. My name is Maureen Meredith. I work for the Housing and Planning Department, and I'm the case manager for these cases. If you haven't done so already, please let us know who is here in the chat box. Please type your name and organization if associated with one. Please mute your microphone if you're joining by phone. Please turn off your video if you're participating online to save bandwidth. And this meeting will be recorded. It's not moving forward. Hold on. There we go. How to participate today. The speech bubble in the menu bar at the bottom or the top of your screen will open the chat box where you can type questions at any time. Please limit comments until the end of the Q&A session. After presentations, click on the raise hand icon to be called on to speak. Telephone participants will be given an opportunity to ask questions. As you know, these properties are within the East MLK Combined Neighborhood Planning Area, and we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. As I said, my name is Maureen Meredith. I work in Housing and Planning Department, and I'm the case manager.
And I'm Mark Walters. I'm the principal planner with Housing and Planning, and be moderating questions tonight.
I'm Leah Bojo, here representing the applicant.
Drew, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, and I'm Drew Rafael here on behalf of the applicant as well with Leah Bojo.
Thank you. So here's my contact information, and Heather Chafin is the case manager for the zoning application. The agenda tonight, I will go over basic case information, how to participate in the process, why is there a plan amendment application, what is a future land use map. I will do a brief presentation, the applicant will do a presentation, then we will open the floor to any questions and answers. The first case is, the address is 6603 Regine Road. It's 0.52 acres. The case number is NPA 2021-0015.03. The project name is 6603 Regine Road. The FLUM request is to change the future land use map from industry to major plan development. The associated zoning case number is C14-2022-0158. The zoning request is to change the zoning from SF2NP to LI-PDA-NP for clean industrial creative maker spaces, retail office, restaurant, and multifamily. Property owner is Lori Lynn Alkier. Is that how you say the name?
I think so, yes.
Okay, and the agent is Leah Bojo from Drenner Group. The second case is NPA 2021-0015.04. Property addresses are 6600, 6702, 6704, and 6706 Regine Road. It is 4.26 acres. The project name is the same as the addresses. The FLUM request is to change the future land use map from industry to major plan development. The associated zoning case number is C14-2021-0157. The zoning request is to change the zoning from LI Limited Industrial Services to LI PDA for clean industrial creative maker spaces, retail office, restaurant, and multifamily. We have multiple property owners, and the agent is Drenner Group, Leah Bojo. Guidelines for group discussion. Please feel free to type your questions into the chat at any time. During this meeting, please postpone general comments until the Q&A session. After staff and applicant presentations, if you would like to speak, please raise your hand by clicking on the hand symbol on the menu bar. Telephone participants will be able to speak during the Q&A session of the meeting. Attendees will be muted upon arrival and through the staff and applicant presentations. Then staff will open the floor to answer questions in the chat or by attendees raising their hands to speak. Similar questions may be grouped and answered together. Please mute your microphone if you're not speaking for the sake of sound quality and clarity of conversation. If you're having connection issues, turn off your video until called upon to ask questions. The recorded meetings will be posted to the speakupaustin.org/NPA website. You can email and call the case managers with any questions and comments. Written comments will be added to the staff case reports. You will get a notice in the mail with the date, time of the Planning Commission and City Council hearings if you live within 500 feet of the property. You can participate in these public hearings, and there will be instructions in the notice. So why is there a plan amendment application? Neighborhood plans are adopted by City Council as amendments to the Imagine Austin Comprehensive Plan. City Charter requires zoning changes to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. Most NPAs are amendments to a plan's future land use map, and most NPAs have an associated zoning application. This map shows the areas in blue that have City Council approved neighborhood plans. Plans have a text version where they have the goals and recommendations within the text plan. There's also a future land use map, which these colors represent broad land uses. For example, purple is represented as industrial on the future land use map, and the proposed land use of major plan development would be represented as a lavender color. These land uses have zoning districts that are considered compatible within the various land use categories. And this is a close-up screenshot of the future land use map and where the two properties are. The tract to the south was recently approved by City Council for major plan development, and it eventually will show the color of lavender and be changed from this dark purple. This is the first property, 15.03, the case number, and this is the second one, the 0015.04 application. See how they're close to each other. This is a Google Map screenshot that just shows some of the surrounding uses. This is a future land use map. And again, the bottom track was recently approved, and will eventually the color will change from the purple to the lighter lavender color. This is a zoning map on 15.03. The current zoning is SF2. For the 15.03, the current zoning is LI, the Limited Industrial Services zoning. This map shows the location of the Imagine Awesome Growth Concept Map centers and corridors. This map shows the properties in proximity to the corridors and the centers. This map shows the public transportation in the area. The squiggly lines with the dot, that is the urban trail. And that ends my presentation. I'll stop sharing my screen.
All right, and I will share mine. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Great. All right, so I'll just run through. This is a lot of what you showed, but I'll just run through it from our perspective as well. We are talking about 6600 through 6706 Regine Road. Here is a map where you can see outlined in blue the parcels that we're here to talk about tonight. And then you can also see the parcel that's outlined in black is the one that was recently rezoned. This is the same zoning application, the same PDA that we asked for and were granted on that other lot. Here, just to show kind of where in the neighborhood planning area it is, you can see it's down there on the southeast corner where that yellow star is. Like Maureen said, we're proposing to change the FLUM from, actually, I think it might just be industry or industry and single family to major plan development. And we're proposing the zoning to go from LI and SF2 to LI PDA and P. Here again, you can see that, like Maureen said, this hasn't changed the color yet, but you can see that this is already major plan development, and that's again what we're proposing on these two parcels. And then here you can see the zoning map, which is a little out of sync with the future land use map, because this one is single family today and would be going to major plan development, and then this is LI today and would be going to, sorry, it would be going to LI PDA, both of these. Major plan development, I think this is actually a really great description of what we're looking to do, which is a large multi-acre tract with a wide variety of land uses that includes single family and multifamily. We're not proposing single family, but we are proposing multifamily, residential, commercial, and clean industrial, showing up as those maker spaces and creative clean industrial spaces that we talked about before. We're looking at about just under 5 acres of new land to join this development. The access is off Regain Road. And you can see again here that this site is the entire development, which will be all together, is adjacent to the Cap Metro proposed green line, and then the Southern Walnut Creek Greenbelt and Trail are just down here, just off the screen to the south. The site is undeveloped today, mostly. There's a couple of single-family homes on a couple of these lots. And these are the things that we're requesting. This is the zoning, not the FLUM, but obviously part of the story. We're requesting to change some of the uses, allowing the residential and the brewery, and prohibiting some of the dirty industrial uses that are permitted on the site today. Those would no longer be allowed. And then a height of 275, FAR of 2 to 1, and a 50% parking reduction. And with that, we respectfully request support for our FLUM change and rezoning case.
Okay. I have a question, actually, if I
Sure.
could ask.
course.
So the property to the south that was recently approved,
Yes.
is that going to be developed cohesively with these other two tracks, or is that separate?
Nope, it'll all be one development with the same subject to the same TIA and everything. It's just that the contracts didn't line up, so that's why we're doing them sort of in 2 batches.
Okay.
Anything else that you think I should hit on?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Great.
Maureen, do you have anything else?
I'm trying to remember. I read somewhere where I thought I read that y'all were working with Capital Metro to try to get the Green Line, get a station
That's right.
on the property or near it. What's the status of that?
We have talked to Cap Metro a few different times and had a letter. We have a letter that we can submit again for backup. Just sort of confirming those conversations. Last we heard from Cap Metro, they were still in, I can't remember exactly what the name of it's like pre-engineering or something like that. Basically, they hadn't yet decided where along this. They know there will be a station somewhere in this stretch, but they still weren't sure where optimally they wanted to put it. So we are in regular communication with them about that, though.
And according to Project Connect, this rail line wouldn't be operational until towards the end of the decade.
Gotcha.
I mean, it said 9 years, I think, on their timeline from 2001. So that kind of ends up at the end of the decade. So they're.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, if there were people here, we would be fielding questions. But it looks like we have a very light attendance this evening. And Maureen, would you want to pull up the next steps in the process and let any viewers know that what's up next and what they can expect?
I'll just go ahead and pull my presentation up and show my contact slide. So the next steps, I will meet with my planning team and we'll make a recommendation on the future land use map request We will pass this recommendation on to the zoning planners. They'll make a recommendation on the zoning requests. Then we'll work with the applicant on moving forward to planning commission and city council dates. We'll work with the East MLK planning contact team on getting a letter of recommendation to be added to the case reports. And I think that's it as far as
So-
the next steps.
And so if people have questions after watching this and they want to reach out to either you or Heather,
Yeah.
you got the contact information up, so that's good. So with that, we'll end tonight's virtual meeting and wish any viewers a good time of the day it might be for them. So, so I'm going to stop recording